Miranda, my brother, Warner. Firecracker, that's some good words, man. Good words. And I definitely want to thank God in heaven for guiding me through this path. Thank you all. And if anyone, oh wait, I almost forgot. Almost, Leroy, don't worry. You're not going to sit and get paid for nothing. We're going to make it work. All right, so we're about to get interesting. It's about to get interesting, shall I say. I'm going to do what politicians don't do, because I'm not. Any questions? So, for those that did not hear, it was said, I hope you don't turn corrupt like the others or some others in the past. My comment to you, I will say it, I have been approached with significant amount of donation. And then a word came up. But I will give you this money, but I told him to keep the money. I am not a man with any strings attached. I do not accept conditions. I am a God-fearing man, and I will tell you, I live every day of my life to please the one upstairs. And if somebody wants to try to have conditions, they should look elsewhere. I'm telling you, I am here for you. I want it. I walked the streets of Rome barefoot as a kid. So, anyway, any more questions? Yes, ma'am.
Situations where you don't get assistance from local police department, will the sheriff's department respond to calls inside the city if you call for help?
Good question. So, the question was, if people inside the city call for assistance to local law enforcement and they don't get the assistance that they need, can someone in the city call the sheriff's office to assist? Yes. We are coming into the city limits. This is a message that I have for them. You ready? They can do their job, or they can watch us do it. It's that simple. Yes, ma'am. Oh, yeah.
Juvenile issues for bad in this area. I have a 15-year-old granddaughter, and he can attest to it. She slices her arms. She's trying to stab herself.
Yes, ma'am.
No, there's nothing you can do. There's no place they can put her because of her age. This is not right.
I
Now,
understand.
if she stabs herself, they can say we did it.
Right.
You can't touch her. You can't whip her. Well, she's big enough, she does. Her other grandmother is definitely afraid of her. She called us and said, come get her. No, you take her for a walk. It's your time.
Yes, ma'am.
Huh? There's a place like this. I've yet to find one. She was in the Slidell in another town, I forget. My memory's not good, but I'll tell you something, there's no help. This child was molested as a child, sold as a child. We told the council they do nothing. The sheriff's department told me if she says what happened to her in her own mouth as a child, 6-year-old now,
Yeah.
they would do some arrest. Never happened. She got that bottle up inside so tight. You can't help her. And she's fixing to get her skin with another she goes into this crazy mood. That's what we've been, I think it's 4 years now. She's broken my door. She's done everything possible. She's almost a threat. When she's out there.
I'm going to tell you this, you will get honesty from me. I don't have all your answers.
I know you don't.
But I tell you this, if you need help, you can call when
We
I'm
do
there.
need the help.
Yes,
She's on
ma'am.
that. I'll get your phone number.
Yes, ma'am. Please do. Please do. Go vote, yeah. Yes, ma'am.
In the areas that I've tried to work in, I would come across pretty people with drug habits that we all, the whole neighborhood, everybody uses drug habits.
Yes, ma'am.
And I was in a position I was in, I would talk to some of these fellows, maybe, whatever they say.
Yes, ma'am.
This is happening here, the kids are involved, what do you do, what can you do?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, those are the younger, so we're trying to, we have to kind of subdue the younger, drug addicts and the ones that sell, because we're trying to get the big guy. Well, I'm sorry, the big guy is gonna be rid himself sooner or later. So why not start off with the young guys and the little guys and work their way up to the big guys? What can we do about this?
That comes down to accountability and passing off. I want this to be known. Thank you for the question. The question was, if you call and you see, let's just call it criminal drug activity, criminal activity. Let's say this, there's no secret here. Everyone knows what's going on, right? Stevie Wonder can see what's going on.
Well, they can sit on their own front porch.
We're going to address it. Let me put it that way. Everyone knows. There's no secret. So, when it comes to juveniles, we've talked to quite a few juveniles. And look here, and everyone can agree. The juveniles, we can sit here, yeah, and we can't punish juveniles, and juveniles is like a two-way street, right? I want to be proactive to keep them from even going that route. But whenever they go that route, serious drug crimes, gun violence, they have to have some type of consequence. That's right. But the issue is really and truly the core, the root of that problem is not the juvenile. It's the influence of the 20-something-year-old that's making them go out there and do it and trying to live it. I'm on the same page, and I agree with everyone that just clapped. We're coming. That's what the Federal Drug Task Force is for. Yes, sir.
On the comment that you made earlier about that you have one so you can get the black vote, that's just a tactic of the enemy trying to confuse people. One is my stepson, and he's a good man.
Yes, sir.
You're a good man. You're all right.
That's right. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Don. Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna ask you the same question I asked you in the back earlier, because your answer was so, straightforward. What will you do to attract and retain qualified officers in our area?
So the question was, if you couldn't hear, what are we going to do to attract and keep good quality officers? And my answer was, basically there's three reasons. There are three reasons why people join a workplace or stay at a workplace. Money, pride, and when I mean pride, they're proud to be a part of it. And happiness. Morale. I will lead from the front. We are going to look at budgets. I can't promise, but I can tell you this. I've looked at the budget. And I didn't say this earlier, but I've looked at the budget. And so, how many of you here know about the LACE program? It helps generate revenue for the parish And the LACE program is divided amongst all the entities in the parish, so everybody can get a little bit. Those deputies sometimes, unfortunately, rely on that extra detail money. It is my job as a sheriff to make sure that I can do whatever I need to do to make sure that they can provide. We will look at the budget to see what we can do with that. Morale. I am going to come in and lead from the front, and I will do what I have to do because I've grown up in a sheriff's office, and I know each level of what they need. Does that answer your question?
Yes, and it's the same answer you gave me back here, so you
Was that a test? Any other questions?
Will you be addressing the media over any problems, or will you refer to your chief deputy?
As you all can see, my brother has so many words. No. You will vote for me as sheriff. I am asking for your vote, so you should hear from me as sheriff. Good and bad, you should hear from me. Yes, ma'am.
So if someone calling your office needs to speak to the sheriff,
Yes, ma'am.
it's not gonna be done like it is now.
The question was, if someone calls the sheriff's office, say it again, please,
And I need to speak to the sheriff.
and she wants to speak to the sheriff, will it be treated the way it's being treated now, or will she actually get to speak to me?
Right, and I can speak to
If she can.
especially if I say what my name is. And if I say what my name is, that's it.
Well,
The road's not going to come to nobody.
let me say this. Let me say this. So, I'm glad she brought that up. First off, if you reach out to me on Facebook and I don't answer, please go again and I will make it a point. If you call the sheriff office after I'm in office and you don't hear from me, if you don't get an appointment scheduled, call again. Call again. Show up and wait for me because I will be there. And when you see me, I want to know who you talk to so I can deal with that broken communication because I am accountable to you. And let me explain something to you. I am not a judge. I've known you my whole life, and I'll tell you this. Your sins are no greater than mine.
Not everybody.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Listen to me. Your sins are no greater than anybody in here. Jesus said that. If you need to talk to the sheriff, you should get the sheriff. If you don't, you make it a point to go to that office and wait on me, and I'm going to find out where the broken communication comes from, and I will deal with it myself. Mr. Donald.
I just want to say that on that front, people have to take consideration that you are a human being, and you can only answer so many people at a time. So they need to be patient and wait till you get back to them.
That's right. That's right. You will get it done. I'm not changing that. That's too much trouble. She asked me if I was changing my cell phone number. I'm not changing this. I'll just block everybody. I'll take no water bottles. Yes, sir. Correct. Most definitely. So the question was, I mentioned the stay alert, stay alive. Man, look at this thing over here. Y'all gotta let him play. No. It's all good. I enjoy the questions. I really do. He asked me about the Stay Alert, Stay Alive program. I'll tell you where that came from and why I'm so passionate about it. I talk to the kids in junior high and high schools about the dangers of online interaction. In today's world, kids stay on this more than anything. My daughter was 13 years old and she was targeted by a predator online on the game Roblox. You know about it? There you go. She was manipulated. The predator wanted her to expose herself to him. She was pretty witty and didn't, but her cousin was. Her cousin got exposed. At the age of 16, same daughter, trouble. She had a boyfriend in Florida who was coming to meet her at the mall and wanted no parent around. And I had to explain to her what was happening. Long story short, I started educating my children on the dangers of what's out there and how the devil manipulates and how predators manipulate our kids into human trafficking. And one night, my youngest daughter, or second youngest, was going to the movies with a friend. And I said, baby, just remember, she said, I know that, stay alert, stay alive. Battle buddies, watch our drink. If one gets into trouble, we both go together. I don't know. And it hit me and I said, wait, man, my kids are getting it. And this is truly from my heart. I know every single person in here loves their kids as much as I love mine. Yeah. So why do I need to be selfish and just educate mine? What about your kids? What about y'all's kids? So therefore, I put together this program, and now my wife will vouch. Before this program started, I thought if I could change one life before I pass, that I've done something. With the Stay Alert, Stay Alive program, and I'll tell you, if I, slap me in the face, when I win sheriff. I will use that platform, and I'm going to spearhead this into our schools and educate our kids. Because if I lose one, I feel like I failed. So my goal is to make sure every kid in our parish has some type of education on that. Yes, sir. Man, go ahead. I'm good.
I don't know how much of a problem it is in this parish, but I want to definitely anyone who's a problem.
Right.
You mentioned
Active shooter instructor, yes.
Yes. As a senior in high school, I'd like to just ask, do you have any plans on this preventive action?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I'm glad you asked. That's a very good question. For those who didn't hear, he asked me if we have any type of plan for an active shooter incident in our schools. What about our schools? I mentioned earlier on April 15th, I had to take a leave of absence. And I'm going to tell you what, at first I was upset. I'm not lying. But I didn't realize the blessing to come. I'm now working for a private security company who is together, that's all ex-military and ex-law enforcement. And they just passed with the school board in Calcasieu, with the utilization of federal funds, we have now armed guards from this private security in every single, now it's just the elementaries now, but my goal is to bring that program here. I'm glad you asked that question because this just came up, all the grants and everything, and I'm literally in the middle of it. So I get to see all this work. Now, with that being said, the SRO. I'm not going to do away with SRO. I want that to be clear. My long-term goal with that would be to have the SRO, school resource officer. Sorry. I would like the SROs to be like a liaison between this company and law enforcement so we can have a mutual agreement and an understanding on how things work. And if illegal activity should pop up, then they have somebody that they can talk to. Does that make sense? Anyone else?
Yeah. We hear a lot about the swamp. On a federal level.
Right.
We have our own swamp here on a local level.
It's about this deep.
If a deputy or a city police officer, any law enforcement person is found or reported to be engaged in crime, whether it be drug dealing,
Right.
hiding evidence, creating
Corrupt.
beating a suspect, do you have a problem with prosecuting that guy with the same veracity as you would anyone else? Will you lock up a law enforcement officer?
In a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. For a second. And you know why I say that so easy? Because he's went from law enforcement to criminal in a breath. Warner can vouch for me. I'm going to tell you this. You can vouch. There's no one, you can vouch. There's no one that dislikes corrupt law enforcement more than good law enforcement. I guarantee you. Yes, sir.
Will you be reaching out outside of Jeff Davis' parish, like the state trooper, to communicate with them in case you need them, and like other parishes, would you be reaching out to them to let them know that you're willing to work with them and they can count on you too?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. So, when I was on SWAT, one thing that we did every year is we had a SWAT competition. All the SWAT teams got together, met up, and they had a week-long, like a meeting, and everybody got to talk to each other. And then at the end of the week, we had a competition. You can't get a bunch of SWAT guys together and not compete, right? But what I learned for those 5 years is how important it is to network. You have to reach out. I want to know what's working in another parish. I want to know what's working throughout the state. And then we can sit there and we can pick the best from each division or each area that we need. So yes, I will reach out. And with that being said, this just came to mind. I mentioned the crime deterrent unit, right? I've actually been talking to people for a while, and there's a guy in here who can vouch for me. Warner and I would go sit down and have these meetings. I met with somebody from the state, and my question to them was, I'm pretty good at math, but I just can't seem to fix that we have approximately, not an exact number, but approximately 400 felons with active warrants walking the streets of Jeff Davis. But we only have approximately 200 beds. Man, I've sat there and tried to figure it out. I just can't see how it works, right? Among those, so I approached the state and I have asked them, what can you do about this? And I have an answer, so what you would do, he said you have to show a need for the space, and the state will come in and help you get more space, right? I said, okay, we'll get your pocketbook ready, because I'm a worker. But we also have, amongst these felons, we have high-risk warrants, crime offenders. Who is going to go get them? So this crime deterrent unit, well, we can call Calhoun, we can call Allen or Borgard or Acadia and have their SWAT team go. But then guess what that does to us? Again, puts us in the back for them to do theirs, and we wait. Meanwhile, they're running around, terrorizing hardworking people and stealing their stuff. So the crime deterrent unit will double up as an entry team. Myself and Warner will decide who is on this team. And they will be the ones that are going to go get these people. And when we fill up the jail, I'll explain to you how it works. We start filling up the jail and we only have 10 beds left. I'm going to start making phone calls. Catahoula, Baton Rouge, Shreveport, so on and so forth. We need to clear up about 20, 30 beds. How many people can you take? How many people can you take? How many can you take? And we stay on the phone until we clear out those beds, so whenever the PDs of our parish arrest the felon, they have a nice, cozy bed to sleep in. Any other questions? Yes, sir. Schools.
Okay. This comes from my personal experience, not like me doing it, but like what I've heard from people.
Yes, sir.
Drugs across a bunch.
Oh, most definitely.
A bunch.
Not just a bit. There's a lot. Yeah, right.
Do you have any plans to like this should be combated a bunch, like drug problem, a bunch?
Right.
Actual like men
Right. Oh, yeah. So the question is, there are drug problems in our schools. Are we going to have a proactive approach to trying to minimize the drugs in the schools? I'm not going to sit here and tell you, yeah, we're going to take drugs on. I'm not going to do that. We're going to fight for it, yes. So being that you brought up drugs in schools, let me give you a little information. 90%, right? Over 90% of drugs today found on the street are manufactured on the street. All with fentanyl. That is why the overdose rate is so high. Also, the man is right here. Vapes. Do you know that the drugs today are now in vape form? Y'all know that? Like major drugs, meth, cocaine, everything, liquid form, found in vape. So, first off, 18? 21. You have to be 21 to start off with. Vape. So all the kids that you see running around vaping, it's illegal. Not to mention, you don't even know what's in it. It's not as innocent. But yes, we will get into the schools. Yes, we will push that.
Explain how dangerous fentanyl really is.
Okay.
A lot of people understand that. They think it's just another drug.
Okay, so the question was, or the statement was, can I explain a little bit what fentanyl really is? What's in our schools and amongst the community? So fentanyl is used because it's the most addictive drug on the street. It's crazy how much more deadly fentanyl is. So fentanyl is used actually in medical terms. 2 years ago in May, it's a painkiller, that's what it is. Much stronger than morphine. So we're all in Louisiana, we all know what a grain of rice is. I want you to cut a grain of rice in 4 pieces. You take one of those pieces, and that's enough to kill you. It's fatal. My dad passed away 2 years ago in May. The last week of his life, he was put on morphine. Everyone, either the drop or the patch. The last 2 days, they said they could see that it was uncomfortable and that the pain was too much and the morphine was no longer working. So you know what they gave him? Fentanyl. And pretty much what it does is just lay him to sleep. Used in surgeries. That's what our kids and the people that you see that do the drug world are fighting. So we have a lot of trouble on our streets. And it's so easy to get to. And I'm telling you, we know and we're coming. I don't know which other way to put it. Any other questions? That's right.